Ladies and gentlemen, over the last few days, we have had several more leaks about the Pixel 9 lineup of devices, revealing some features coming to those particular phones. Now, unfortunately, I can't just show you some of this stuff because Google has been having videos pulled down because this comes from leaked marketing material, right? So when we talk about renders and things like that, that's safe because those renders are being generated by a third-party company and Google does not own those renders. So we can show them, but they do own this marketing material. So I can't directly in this video show you what we're talking about, but I will try to give you visual aids about these sorts of things and these features. So the first one that I want to kind of run down with you is something we talked about a couple of weeks back. It is called Pixel Screenshots, and it kind of reminds me of a mixture between Windows Recall, the feature that has been indefinitely delayed, and the search function that already exists within Google Photos. Basically, what you're going to be able to do is take a screenshot on your Pixel device, and it's going to use AI, presumably Gemini Nano, which runs locally on the device. That keeps it safe and secure. It's not sending your screenshot to a data center to be scanned. It's doing it on your device. Once this scanning is complete, it's basically what's considered OCR, what is it, optical content recognition, if I'm remembering that correctly. It scans the image and it determines what is in the image, and that is basically logged. So now you have an image and then this sort of log that says what is in this image, be it text or just objects. And you can then search. So you can ask Google. They give different examples like what was the birthday present idea for whoever, and it will go through your screenshots and be like, oh, maybe it was this thing you were looking at, and it's going to basically help you find stuff, just like Windows Recall. The big difference is Windows Recall was happening automatically in the background. This is something you're going to have to manually trigger yourself. Now, while that is definitely an improvement in terms of the security concern, right? You're not going to be worried about your Pixel taking a screenshot every 2 seconds, and then what if this little database it's creating somehow gets off my device like you would with Windows Recall? You know, it has to be encrypted and all of these sorts of things. That's potentially like better peace of mind. But there's a big problem there for me because I'm not going to remember that I need to remember something. That's kind of like going to defeat the purpose for me. Am I going to remember to take that screenshot and be like, I need to remember this, click? Because I don't know if you're like me, but all the time I think, oh, I'm going to remember that for sure. And then 30 seconds later, I'm like, I feel like there was something that I needed to remember, but it's gone, never to be seen again. So you're going to have to retrain yourself to screenshot these things when you need to remember them. Now, I quite like this because I use the Google Photos search feature all the time. You can just search, this is on the web browser, but on your phone, whatever, you can just search for a term like clouds, and it's going to pull up shots that feature clouds, and that is a really, really useful feature. So it's going to be like that, but like way, way, way amped up. The next feature is something called Add Me. Now, you may be already familiar with Best Take. That is a pretty cool Pixel 8 feature where you're taking a group photo and you snap several different photos because you're trying to get a single picture where everyone is looking at the camera and everyone's smiling and no one's blinking, and inevitably that fails. But your Pixel is going to be able to see that stack of images, and it will give you the option to swap faces out and piece together a working photo. This is kind of like that, but for an entire person. The example that they gave, they took a picture of a person kind of sitting next to this old school van, and then they took another picture where that person's gone and now someone else is in, and then a third picture where that person's gone and a third person is in. And it used AI to stitch these all together so that it looked like everyone was in the same picture at the same time. So again, it's like Best Take, but amped up a little bit more, kind of a running theme here. And the next one is another amped up version of something that we already have. It's called Magic Editor Reimagine. So currently in Magic Editor, you select something and maybe you're going to erase it, or maybe you're going to move it around. Let's just say you're going to erase it. When you erase it, it's going to scan the image and it's going to say, what probably should have been in this hole? If it's not this, what should it be replaced by? It's going to generate that and it's going to place it there. With Reimagine, you're going to be able to actually augment this process with text. The example they gave was two people standing sort of on like a cliffside, and they had selected the sky behind them. I guess it was kind of the sky and like an ocean behind them. And they type in, what do they type in? I'm looking at the image that I can't show you. Reimagine with a dramatic sunset. And it gives them several different options where it took that out and it placed in several different dramatic sunsets that they were able to select. This, I think, is going to be really useful and a great upgrade for Magic Editor because no longer is it going to rely completely on the visual context alone. You're going to actually be able to tell it what should be in that space, and theoretically, that's going to make a really, really big difference. Now, most recently, this is one that I can show you. This is a screenshot from Twitter. Dylan here, EvoWiz, said, like AdMe, wait until you hear about AI call notes with call recording and transcription, redesigned panorama mode, and other upcoming Pixel features. So we're talking about for this one, AI call notes. This seems to be call recording on your Pixel device, but not just that, it's going to actually generate a transcript of your call and potentially, he didn't say a summary, but there should be a summary there as well with Gemini Nano. I think that can be really, really useful. How often have you taken maybe a stressful phone call? Maybe you're like I was last month or a few weeks ago, getting quotes on getting a roof put on the house. And I'm taking these phone calls and I'm having to write down notes. It would be really nice to do is have these phone calls recorded into a transcript. And then maybe I can just ask the transcript, hey, what did they quote me on this material for the roof? And it's going to be able to just sort of have that written down there. Very, very useful. Very, very interesting feature. Now, guys, I do want to remind you, we're not far from the Pixel 9 being unveiled. August the 13th is the date. Google has played these little teaser videos. We know it's the Pixel 9. We've seen it. We know that it's the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. We've seen it. Should be getting all these features too, by the way, because it's going to be running the same Tensor G4 as well as 16 gigs of RAM, just like the Pro models of the Pixel 9. So that is definitely great to see. You're going to want to be subscribed to this channel because I'm going to continue breaking down the news, and when that live event is happening, I'm going to be live alongside that, live streaming in the comments there, talking about it, reacting live with you guys, and then giving you my thoughts after the event. So again, hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.